1.6, absolute value and inequality. So first we're going to deal with equal signs, and then we're going to deal with inequality signs. So the first one, when I graph my solution, it's the equal sign, it's just one dot. When you're dealing with absolute values, you're always going to have two answers. So when you're doing this, remember with every absolute value, you can have a positive or negative answer inside the absolute value. So I have two separate equations. So if I solve both of these, I get -2 and +3. So when I'm graphing this, all I really need to see is the -2, +3, say it's equal. These are the only two options I have. -2, +3, two options. Pause the video and do B by yourself. For these next set of questions, it's the same type of thing, but before we make any two set of equations, we have to get my absolute value all by itself. We have to get that by itself first. So then you're thinking, I want to get rid of this +1 or the -1 first. So I have 3 absolute value of x plus 2. So if I add over the 1, I get 9. Now this is a multiply, so 3 times the absolute value. I want to get rid of that next. You cannot, repeat, you cannot distribute inside of an absolute value. You cannot distribute. So now these are my two equations. X plus 2 is equal to 3. X plus 2 is equal to -3. Again, once you get the absolute value by itself, that's where you get your two separate equations from. So you get x equals 1 and x is equal to -5. So when I graph this, I have -5, 1, and both closed circles. So pause the video and do B by yourself. So now we have extraneous solutions. What makes it extraneous solution is when I look at my equation right here, and there's an x on the inside of the absolute value, and there's an x on the outside of the absolute value. So when we do this, we have to check them. We have to check the solutions to make sure they actually both work. So if I'm looking at this first, when you're doing this, it's the same that we have been doing. My absolute value is already by itself, so my first equation would be 3x plus 2 is equal to 4x plus 5. My other equation, because you need to, is again, this does not change. Your absolute value part does not change, but you need a negative answer. So it's the negative of the whole equation, not just one. So let's see how I put parentheses. It's negative the whole equation. So if I solve this first one, subtract the 3, I get x. Subtract the 5, I get -3. If I check the second one, this becomes 3x plus 2 is equal to -4x minus 5. So if I add the 4x, subtract the 2, so I have x is equal to -1 once I divide by 7. I have to check them both. You always want to check it into your original equation. So this would be the absolute value of 3, -3 plus 2. You have to make sure you have your absolute value when you're checking. 4 times -3 plus 5. If I do that, I get the absolute value of -7 is equal to -7. And some people say yes here, but don't forget the absolute value of -7 is 7. So this becomes 7 equals -7. No, that does not work. Sad story. If I check -1, so I have the absolute value of 3 times -1 plus 2 absolute value equals 4 times -1 plus 5. I get the absolute value of -1 is equal to 1. Well, that gets me 1 equals 1, so yes, that works. Hallelujah. Try to check the second one by yourself. So now we're getting to actual inequalities. It's set up the same, however, remember when you multiply or divide by a negative, you flip the sign. So when I'm setting this up, I have 2x, subtract 1, is less than 5. So when I look at my original, this is less than, so this is going to be an and statement. I have my 2x minus 1. I have to have my negative answer. Now remember, that negative answer is like me multiplying by a -1. That means my sign has to flip. So now I solve like normal. So I should get x is less than 3 and x is greater than -2. So my -2 should go on the left-hand side. That's smaller than 3. Both of them are going to be open circles. Now you can either do them separately or together. So I'm looking at this one first. X is less than 3. So anything less than 3, so it's going to be pointing this way. This says x is greater than -2, so anything over here. When it's an and statement, it should be shaded in between. Less than is an and. Great or would be an or. So I want you to do B by yourself. So now these problems are the same thing, except we have a great or. So when you have greater, it's going to be an or statement. So that means they're going to be shooting out from each other. So we still have our 2x plus 4 great or equal to 6, and it's going to be an or statement, and then 2x plus 4, and then you make sure to flip your sign because you're multiplying by the negative to get the negative 6. And you solve for both of them, so I'm first going to subtract my 4, divide by 2, I get 1, or subtract my 4, get negative 10, divide by 2, I get a negative 5. Remember, when you're doing this on your number line, negative 5 is smaller than 1. Both of them have closed circles. And I'm looking at this one first. This is saying x is less than, smaller than negative 5, so I have to make sure to shoot that to the left. And when I'm looking at this, x is greater than 1, so I have to make sure to shoot that to the right. Remember, or statements should be shooting out from each other. So pause the video and try B by yourself. So this is just kind of a reference for you to look at when we're dealing with the graphs, what they should look like. If there's an equal sign, you should have 2. If it's less than, it should be in between. If it's great or, it should be shooting out. So here you have this word problem. You should pause it, read the word problem, then play it so we can go over it. So we're looking at what the absolute value is. A lot of times people can write it just an inequality statement, but we want absolute value. So first we find the tolerance. The tolerance says what's the difference between the highest minus the smallest. So my highest possibility is 53 inches. My lowest possibility is 51. And we divide that by 2, so that'd be equal to 1. That's my tolerance, so that's what it should be, less than or equal to. So I'm looking at my absolute value, my height right here. We know we're subtracting, that's my intended outcome would be 52. That would be like if it was perfect, perfect, perfect. That has to be less than or equal to 1. Now if you want to try that, if you plug 53 in, you would get 1 away. Or if you plugged in 51, you get a negative 1, which the absolute value of that would be a positive 1. So first you want to find out the difference or the average in between your highest and lowest to find your tolerance, because that would be what you're setting it, the absolute value is. So try to do B by yourself. So pause and try to do B. It's changing your height. Top height is still going to be the same. It's going to be 53. And your lowest height is 52. You still are having it 2. So now what we have is a 1/2. So you want 1/2 in between them. So my desirable income or height would be my 52.5. And that has to be less than or equal to 1/2. There you go. You have a great, grand, wonderful day.